Well, I was born in Torstock. My father was the foreman on the estate which eventually became St Michael's School. I think it was the Boucher Rays were there at the time, and I was baptised in Torstock Church. And when I was 2 years old, my father had been in his middle 30s, so he was too old to have been called up first of all, but he was joining up into the RAF. So we had to leave Torstock and move into Barnstable, into a 2-room flat at the top of a house at the end of King Edward Street. And all we had was one sink with cold running water, and, well, that was the only modern convenience, really. The rest of the house was a bathroom, which we were very occasionally given the privilege of using, but I can remember being bathed in one of those old tin zinc baths. My grandmother had a cafe in Joy Street, and we used to go in there, but that was only until I was about 2 or 3 years old, because, you know, she died when she was about 62. Which was, yeah, when I was about 2 or 3 years old. She'd heard that there was a delivery of teddy bears in Curry's, which was at the end of Joy Street, and they used to sell bicycles and babies' prams at that time. And so she was very friendly with a girl that was in the army, so called Victoria, and I can remember this very clearly. She gave Victoria some money and told her to take me down to Curry's at the corner and get one of these teddy bears. Of course, it was very rare to have new toys during that time, and I can still remember seeing these teddy bears now, sitting in a row in the window, and they all had lovely bows of ribbons around their necks, and I chose one with a red ribbon, and I've still got him actually. He sits in, well, he's got a throne and he's king of the teddy bears, and he's still sitting in the other room now, looking very worse for wear, but he's still there.
What's he called?
I just called him Dear Bear.
Dear Bear.
And he's still Dear Bear, yes, yeah. And I can remember, you know, seeing tanks rolling down Boutport Street in towards the square, and also American servicemen. There was an American serviceman who was also one of the people who was friendly and used to go into the back room and have meals at Grandma's Cafe. And I can remember going down, and there were some friends where the old swimming pool used to be, at Rock Park. And I can remember these older children going up to the American soldiers and saying, "Got any gum, chum?" But it's just something that sticks in my mind. And we were at the top, on the second floor of the house, and looked out of the back window, and I could see the barrage balloons flying over Chivenor. And I remember Mum told me that when I was a baby, must have been, I suppose, something probably to do with the Battle of Britain, she could remember watching the German bombers fly over and bombing Chivenor from where we were in Torstock. And then we used to get deliveries from America into the school. And once we had a delivery of drinking chocolate, a tin of drinking chocolate, and something that we wouldn't allow children to do then, but at 4 and 5 years old, I used to walk to school and back on my own, but I managed to take the lid off the top of the drinking chocolate, and I went home like that. I used to apparently upset my father, I was told afterwards, because we used to go to the town, when he came home on leave, we'd go to the town station to see him off. And apparently I used to get very excited and laugh and smile and enthusiastically wave as he went away on the train, which upset him. But at the time it was quite exciting seeing him, you know, going off on the train. Well, his profession was in the building trade, so after D-Day, he went over with a group or a gang, whatever you call them, and they were building airstrips behind. As the Allies advanced, they built airstrips so that the planes could come in and land rather than having to come all the way from, and he went, you know, right up through France, Belgium, Holland, and into Germany. The victory celebrations, there was all sorts of things going on in Barnstable, and one of them was a fancy dress for children, which was judged in the old bandstand in Rock Park. And I've still got the pictures. I was dressed up as a snow girl, all sorts of things, and holding a big cotton wool snowball on my hand. I must have been 5 or 6, I suppose, at the time. And Mum was always very cross because little boy Blue got first prize and I only got second. And after that there was a big tea party for all the school children of Barnstable in what is now the Queen's Hall or the Queen's Theatre, but then it was a British restaurant. And I got the photograph of that with me standing up on a chair at the end in my fancy dress and my school teacher proudly holding my hand and standing beside me.
Saying, it should have been her.
Pardon?
Saying, it should have been her.
Yeah, exactly.